Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Melissa. And have you ever repotted one of your alocasia plants and found these little ball-like things in the soil? Well, it's actually a corm and you can grow a whole new baby plant out of that. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to grow your own little baby alocasia plant. I have several alocasias in my collection that really need to be repotted, so I'm going to be repotting one in this video as well, and hopefully I'll find some corms in the soil. I do currently have some corms rooting in my greenhouse right here, and I will show you those as well because they are starting to form and grow new little leaves. So I should have a new leaf pretty soon actually. So I'm going to show you my process and what I do to have them root and grow for you. So the alocasia I'm going to be repotting today is my Alocasia maharani. And this is the new leaf that I recently got on this plant. It was dormant all winter. I actually did not repot this plant last year, so it is due for an upsize. It has a root coming out of the bottom. It looks like I could be getting a new growth soon on this plant, which is exciting. This guy has only kept 2 leaves for the longest time. I'm actually really happy to see that I'm getting new growth on this plant, and it's like maintaining more than just a couple leaves. This one here is yellowing a little bit. This is the oldest leaf, and this is the second oldest, and that's the newest one. It's the darkest. So I don't know if these will go eventually because it is pushing out a new growth. Alocasias are notorious for doing that, killing off their oldest leaf when you are getting new growth. So we'll see. I don't know if this plant has any corms in the soil. I'm hoping to find one so I can show you like corms in the soil. If not, I have another alocasia I can repot that probably has some corms. So yeah, I'm going to be repotting him, and I'll show you what corms look like in the process of rooting and growing a corm. All right, I want to get up close for this video so you guys can see what I'm doing. And what I'm going to be upsizing, this is a 4-inch nursery pot, and I'm going to be upsizing to a 5-inch nursery pot here. It has plenty of holes for airflow, so I'm going to be going up one size. And this is the potting mix I'm going to be using. I would prefer it to be a little bit more chunky. This is just potting soil with some extra perlite and orchid bark and some charcoal. So this is what I normally use for potting up most of my house plants, and I'll link my potting mixes down below as well. So I'm going to be using this mix and that nursery pot. Okay, since the maharani did not have any corms in the soil, I'm actually going to be upsizing my Alocasia poly as well. This guy grew back from nothing because it got spider mites not this past winter, but the winter before. So it completely died back, and it looks like I might be getting 2 more growth points on this guy as well, which is exciting. So yeah, he's really kind of, I could feel he's a pretty root bound. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'll dump him out and see if I can find any corms in the soil so I can show you what the corms in the soil look like. All right, we found one. Do you see that corm there? So I can grow a new plant with this corm right here. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So they just are buried in the soil sometimes off the roots, and you can save them when you repot. So I'm going to set this guy aside here, and then let's see if I can find any more. And I'm being very gentle. All right, here's another corm. So here's another one we can grow. I figured this guy would have some because it's been a while since he was repotted. He's been in this small pot for a while. They're mostly found kind of near the base, I feel like, of the plant. I think that's all that he has. Yeah, I don't see any more corms with this guy, so let's put him in his new pot and I'll show you the corm process. I'm reusing all of my old soil. There's nothing wrong with this soil. I'm just going to add some fresh soil just because I went up a little bit. the next step with your corm process, so you're going to find any kind of container, whether it be plastic, a recycled food container, even a plastic bag, a jar, glass jar, any kind of vessel that will be good for propagating. You just want to put some moistened sphagnum moss down into the container like I did here. I just kind of wet the moss and wrung out the excess water. And I'm actually going to be rooting mine in my greenhouse, and I'll show you some other ones that I did the same way. So the corm here, sometimes you'll notice some might have, this is like the root end here, and they'll kind of root off the corm itself. So this little part here up top, I'm trying to get it to focus, this part is actually where the new growth will form, and this here is the bottom part. So you want to make sure when you put these into the moss that you want to put that side down like that, so the new growth is facing out of the moss. And I don't know if you see this like brown outer layer. I'm actually going to be removing this because this will help them root and grow faster. So if you notice this one here, especially, this one has a lot of that brown outer coating. I'm going to be scraping this off and getting rid of this so that they'll root and grow faster. So again, this is the bottom end here that will go down into the moss, and this is the top end here that new growth will emerge from. So here, you kind of want that white part to be seen here. It kind of easily removes. Sometimes you have to scrape it to get it started, but so I'm just using my fingernail and just kind of getting most of that off. And you don't have to be particular with it. You can leave some of it on. So that is my peeled alocasia corm here. So that's the top end and the bottom end here. So these are my two corms here. And so what I'm going to do is, with the damp moss, I'm just going to kind of gently place them down into the moss like this. They kind of blend into the moss, so they're hard to see. I leave the top bit out, but I just kind of squish the moss like around it a bit. And then I'm going to do this one over here on this side. Like that. I will say with alocasia corms and rooting them with any kind of propagations, these guys really need high humidity and light and warmth to really grow and sprout. So if you have like a heating pad for props, or you can place them in a really bright spot, that's going to be best, because ideally these guys are going to need that kind of environment to sprout. So let me show you some ones I have cooking already, and I can show you the progress. And I've actually rooted and planted one back into a mother pot, and I'll show you that as well. So in my greenhouse, these are alocasia silver dragon corms, and they are rooting and growing very well. Do you see those white fuzzy roots in there? And the sprout is growing, which is really, really exciting. I don't know if you can see all those roots and new growth. So these I potted into a separate container. And if you have an IKEA cabinet and you are interested in these plastic bins, I can link them down below for you. So this one is rooting and growing the same way. And these I have not had to re-wet. They are maintaining themselves. So once they sprout a new leaf, I will pot them back into the mother plant, I think is my plan for those guys. So yeah, I just want to show you, these ones I did peel, but I didn't peel all the way. I peeled most of it, so you don't have to get all the brown stuff off, but the more brown stuff that you get off, the better. I find they root and grow faster. So these new ones here, there's 2 of them in there if you can see them. I'm going to put these beside the other alocasias, and let's do it this way. And I'm going to keep an eye on them. And probably in about 2 weeks, I should see new roots and growth like these guys here. And I'll do an update video, or at least update over on my Instagram if you are curious on the updates and progress. I'll definitely do like, actually I'll do an updated video once these guys grow and root more, and I'll pot them back up. So I'm going to take you over here to some alocasias I have out of the greenhouse. This is my Alocasia Regal Shield. It just gave me this new leaf. It is beautiful. And this here is a corm that I did and planted back in. It has 2 leaves here. So I just kind of stuck that new growth down beside the mother plant right here, and it has continued growing. So it actually looks like it might be working on a new leaf right here, which is exciting. And these guys don't seem to be yellowing, so it's really exciting. I can't wait to have a bushy plant of this one day. I might repot this one this year as well too, and if I find more corms, I will root and grow them. But yeah, it's just amazing that you can grow a whole new plant out of one of those. Yeah, so that is it. That is all you have to do for corms. And yeah, you can add it back into the main plant and get like a big full bushy pot, which is the plan for all of my alocasias. I think I'll do like an alocasia care video as well, because I do have quite a few alocasias in my collection, and I do get asked a lot about my care tips with alocasia specifically. So I'll have to do a care tips video and show you guys like an alocasia collection video as well. But yeah, it looks like this guy is working on a new leaf, which is really exciting. If you have any questions or anything, just drop a comment down below and I'll be happy to get back to you. Be sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss any updates. I'll definitely do an update video and show you guys the progress on these guys. Be sure to head on over to my Instagram and I'll show you a lot of updates over there as well. I hope this video was helpful and you learned how to root an alocasia corm. And I hope you can find some corms when you repot your alocasias and grow them into a new plant. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later.